All right, let's just rip the Band-Aid off because sometimes life doesn't hand you a neat little lesson wrapped in a bow. Sometimes it just dumps you headfirst into a pit full of power-tripping coworkers, HOA dictators, nosy neighbors, and, well, family drama that would make a therapist cry. And if you're thinking this is just another feel-good hold hands and sing story, well, buckle up because my life isn't a Hallmark movie. Let's get into it. So picture me mid-20s, just trying to make rent by working at this chain I'll call overpriced music shop. I'm not saying it was my dream job, but it paid the bills and let me geek out about guitars and drum sets all day. I actually liked it. Until Heather showed up. Now Heather, let's call her what she was, a bully with a haircut that screamed manager in training. She went from just being annoying to getting promoted to key holder, and that's when she decided to turn my life into her own personal reality show. She'd wait until 5 minutes before closing and then bark out, "You need to restock those shelves before you leave." Never mind that I'd been hustling all day, she just wanted the power trip. I'd try to tell her I already did it this morning, but she'd just snap back, do it again, and disappear. Yeah, that happened. I finally had enough, reported her to HR, and surprise, turns out she and the assistant manager, Tyler, were hooking up. The HR lady's face when I said everyone knew priceless. Heather got transferred to another store and promptly quit. Honestly, I thought I was free. A few months later, I landed at Closing Soon Books, a place with lower prices, higher stress, and as luck would have it, Heather again. She worked at a different location, but you know how petty people can get. She'd hang up when I'd call for a customer, leave me on hold forever, that kind of stuff. Customers would get mad at me for things she did, and somehow I was always the one in trouble. Then one day the grapevine delivered. Heather had gotten hurt in a car accident, went on medical leave, couldn't stand up for more than 10 minutes. Thing is, while her store was short-staffed and miserable, I find out from an old coworker that Heather's at the pool hall every Wednesday, playing like nothing's wrong. Weekly pool tournaments, while on medical leave for debilitating pain. So I do what anyone with a grudge and a bit of evidence would do. I tip off her boss. Told him when and where to find her, and sure enough, next week fired on the spot. She tried to follow me home from work after that, but I led her straight to the police station, never saw her again. Sometimes karma just wears a name tag and clocks out at 5. All right, switching gears, let's talk about HOAs. When I bought my house, I figured, this is it, the American dream. Quiet street, big enough yard, and HOA fees that didn't seem too outrageous. I kept my head down, mowed my grass, kept the trash cans tucked away. But in every HOA, there's always a Bob. Bob's the type who peaked in '87, wears khakis like they're a uniform, and thinks being HOA president means he's president of the United States. For 2 years, I was invisible until I decided to redo my backyard. Wanted a garden, a patio, nothing wild. Got all my forms in, played by their rules. But the next thing I know, there are 2 strangers in my yard digging with shovels. HOA hired us to put in a walking path, they said. Right through my future garden, my privacy trees, no warning, just, this is happening. I called Bob. His response, Section 47B in your agreement, gives us the right to make community improvements. It's for the greater good. You ever notice how the greater good always means you get the short end of the stick? So I checked my paperwork and, yeah, there's some legal mumbo-jumbo, but nothing about bulldozing my backyard. When I protest, Bob says, construction starts Monday, take it up with legal. Monday comes, there's a construction crew in my yard, Bob strutting around giving orders. I try to reason with him, nothing. Just, the engineering study says this is best. Except, funny thing, I never saw that study. Every time I asked, it was under review. At this point, my 2 favorite trees are gone, my yard's sliced up, and I'm boiling. So I call the city to check permits. The city has 0 record of any permits filed for my address, let alone for a path. I check with the county for easements, nothing. The HOA was trespassing and building without permission, no legal right at all. Then Bob lets it slip. This path is emergency access 24 hours for everyone's safety. You see where this is going. I do my research. Turns out city codes are crystal clear. Emergency access paths require permits, safety checks, inspections. The works. Monday morning, the crew is finishing up, putting up signs, so I call 911. Told them I had an unpermitted emergency access route on private property, a safety hazard. Next thing I know, city inspectors and the fire department roll up and Bob looks like he's about to faint. The inspectors ask me if I gave permission. Nope. They tell Bob the whole thing is illegal, hand him a stop work order, and tell him he has 72 hours to remove the path and restore my yard or pay daily fines. Bob tries to argue bad move. The fire marshal calls the cops, and suddenly Bob's getting written up for trespassing and unpermitted construction. Word spreads fast. Turns out I wasn't the only one sick of the HOA. My neighbor tells me the HOA was planning to put a garden in his yard next month using the same excuse. After seeing Bob eat crow in my yard, those plans vanished. The path got ripped up, new grass put down, and except for my missing trees, you'd never know a miniature highway tried to run through my garden. But oh, the HOA wasn't done. A month later, I get a bill for $3,200, my share of path removal costs, because I didn't cooperate. I laughed out loud, marched into the next board meeting bill in hand. 20 other homeowners showed up too. Guess Bob didn't expect a crowd. I explained what happened: illegal construction, trespassing citations. Someone asked if Bob was really cited by police. He tried to talk his way out, but you could feel the tide turning. The meeting melted into chaos. People questioning Bob's authority, his decisions, his so-called studies. The board quietly dropped the bill after that, and a few months later, Bob resigned, said the job wasn't fun anymore. The new president is a retired teacher who actually listens. My backyard. It's peaceful again, garden thriving, privacy, fence up, lesson learned. And you better believe the next time I see a crew in my yard, I'm calling the city before the first shovel hits dirt. Here's the thing. Knowing your rights matters. Sometimes all it takes is standing up, making a phone call, and reminding everyone that HOA bylaws don't trump city codes or basic property rights. The irony: Bob wanted an emergency access path, and I gave him an emergency, all right? Never did see that famous engineering study. Maybe it's in the same vault as Bigfoot and my missing trees. You'd think the neighborhood drama would end there, but nope. Moved to a new suburb, and guess what? There's always a Karen. Ours is a retiree who spends her days patrolling the streets, leaving notes on mailboxes. Your grass is too long, your car is dirty, you name it. But her real passion: policing dogs. If she even suspects a dog is off-leash, she's calling code enforcement. So I get an idea. I put up a big "Beware of large dog" sign. Never mind that I don't even own a dog. Next trip to Goodwill, I grab a massive dog chain and a studded belt. Looks just like a collar. Now, whenever Karen is lurking nearby, I grab the collar step outside and start yelling, "Baskerville. Come here, boy," whistling, searching, you name it. The look on her face is pure gold. She's wasted hours searching for my phantom dog, waiting to catch me in the act. Worth every penny, if you ask me. Look, life is full of Esther's managers who power trip, play favorites, and make your life a living hell. I once trained a new manager at a magical rat planet theme park, and let me tell you, she was the queen of petty. I tried to be nice, but when I wouldn't work unpaid overtime, she made it her mission to punish me, assigning me the worst positions, nitpicking my appearance, making work a nightmare. I finally reported her transferred to a better spot, and surprise Esther poisoned the work environment so badly that people started quitting in droves. They sent in a corporate psychologist, and eventually Esther got moved. And then karma paid her a little visit too. Last story, because why not end on a personal note? Not every villain is a stranger. Sometimes they're family. Some folks just don't deserve the title mom or dad. My egg donor was the kind of narcissist who drank away the afternoons, talked trash about everyone, including her own kids, and played the victim so hard she could win an Oscar. She'd lie, pit people against each other, then act shocked when nobody wanted to be around her. My sister and I, we made our peace a long time ago. You get to decide who your family is, and sometimes cutting ties is the bravest thing you can do. So here's my question for you. Where's the line between standing your ground and picking your battles? Have you ever fought back against someone with a little too much power or walked away from family because it was the healthiest choice? Drop your story in the comments. Let's swap some war stories. See whose HOA or family drama tops the list. And hey, if you ever need permission to say enough, this is it. You're not alone.